There you are. Welcome to the video, everyone. We're going to be exploring around a dairy farm. So as I give you a quick tour of the place I'm staying, I'm going to fill you in on everything that's going on. So if you're watching this video right now, everything you're about to see has already taken place. So I am in Pennsylvania right now. I kind of did a trip on a whim, scheduled it. I shouldn't say scheduled it. I didn't really know I was coming until the day before, but I got to do a lot while I was in. I got to meet up with my brother, who I haven't seen in years, and also I own a duplex here in the state of Pennsylvania that I used to live in, and one of the tenants moved out, so I had to do a lot of work and cleaning to the one unit. So I spent all day 2 days ago doing that, and then yesterday I was able to spend the entire day here on this roughly 500-acre dairy farm, which was absolutely awesome. And today I'm gonna just be doing some other stuff and then heading home. Probably won't get any detecting in, but we found a lot of cool stuff here, and it was an absolute blast. I got to explore all day here. I networked with some local farmers to set up this permission, and it worked out really well for this trip, and I had an awesome time, and I found a bucket list or something that was really cool, and just had a good time overall. It's nice to be back in Pennsylvania, that's for sure. For everyone who doesn't know, I grew up in Pennsylvania, and I haven't been here for many years, since around the time I started the YouTube channel. So it's a bit nostalgic, that's for sure. So that was your quick little tour of the farmhouse. Now I hope you enjoy me metal detecting around the old farmhouses and structures on this property, as well as some of the fields. It's a very cool place that dates back to 1841 when it was originally settled. Well, hopefully this is a sign of things to come. I literally moved right off the front porch, and I got a penny from 1976. It was about 1.5 inches down in this nice rich soil. Now let's get on to something a little bit older. So I moved into the side yard trying to find some older stuff. My last 3 targets, I got this old piece of scrap copper, a live round, and a quarter from 1985, and that took the last couple minutes. So I'll keep searching. Well, I've been digging a lot of modern coins and working my way around trying to find an older patch, and got me a bunch of old iron links. So it looks like a lot of the ground's been disturbed here, and some of it turned over throughout the years, probably as part of the farm fields. But there's some section of this yard that seemed like original soil. You never know what's going to pop up, so we'll keep digging. Alright guys, I'm really happy right now. I've been out here for an hour, haven't been finding much other than some modern change up by the house, like nothing older than the 1970s. Just a lot of deep aluminum. You can tell most of this area down here has been plowed. I just made a first for me. Can't believe I found this. Probably doesn't have to do with this building here. It's going to be much older. Getting down into the edge of the farm fields, I am so happy. I just found my first ever crotal bell, and it is complete. That is absolutely amazing. It's full of dirt, so I don't know if the dinger's in it. Wow, look at the patina on that. I am so happy right now. So I'm definitely going to check the best I can in these fields up until about where their crops start. And see up this way. I can do all this kind of lumpy area up and through here where they didn't plant. If I found this, who knows what else could be back here. It is so amazing. About 5 minutes into trying to wash all the dirt out of this, and we got it singing. That is so awesome. love the detail on this thing too. Let's shut that off. Absolutely amazing. Finally knocked one off the bucket list. That is super cool. The wind is fierce up here now, so I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but I got really deep here, and I'm not sure what this is. This is really super hard pack, and almost looks like a piece of, I don't know, something out there like this might be an old car. I'm about 6 inches down in the hard pack and where they used to have fields here. Really wedged down in there. This took me 5 minutes to dig out. So I'm going to finish plopping it out. We'll see what it is. It can't do it on camera. I'm going to dig around it carefully and see what we got. Okay, I just loosened it up. You can see part of that here. I was right, it's a wheel. It is a large old toy truck, part of one. Got orange paint on it. It's not in the greatest of shape. Looks like it's been hit by a plow at some point. But how about that? That is so cool. It's really grown in out here where they don't maintain fields anymore. It's about almost, about 10 inches high, so it's hard swinging here, but I'm able to pick out the big targets. And that's an oldie right there. That's probably going to go back to around World War II, give or take. Really old toy truck right there. A little bit busted off, but man, that was wedged down in this hard pack and about 8 inches down. I'll see if I can figure out anything about it later, like exactly what kind it is, but cool piece of American history right there. So I'm working this little high point behind the house where the brush isn't grown up as much in the center of it. And right there, I just got an ATV key. Not sure if it's just me, but I think I found like an old school style walkie-talkie. Push right here, 10-4. No idea. It says pace on the front of it, and ants build a nest in it. Got to keep shaking my hand off. See, they're all down there. It says something back here. Pathcom Incorporated, Harbor City. Huh, pretty interesting. Cracking signal right there. Listen to it. Nice. Well, this had me scared for a second. I'm not sure what it is. I don't think it's very old. But man, did it give a blasting signal. If I can get it out of here. It does not want to come out of there. There we go. Ah! There you go. Squirt, squirt, squirt. Well, not quite what we're looking for, but it is a target. Well, of course a can's gonna sound really good. Never seen this type of can though before. Real Draft Premium Beer. Huh. Somebody tell me how old that is. I have no idea. Brooklyn, New York. Anyhow, carrying on. Oh, let's take a look at the top. Oh yeah, old style tab there. Maybe 1960s on that one, or early 70s. That's my guess. Well, and back in the yard portion, I'm pretty sure there was excavation done at some point. Most of it's sort of a mixture of soils and a bunch of little rocks mixed in. A few areas are original soil, but anyhow, can't crack sort of the 1970s on the coins. Got a nice signal here, and there's a 1980 Canadian cent. So at least something a little bit different. No old coins or relics from right around the house. The old stuff's in the fields. But that's a cool find anyway. I'll keep looking. Alright, so the house is way up there, and I'm just looking on the back end out in these fields. Real pretty out here. Very happy to be in Pennsylvania doing this type of metal detecting. But just looking by this not so old apple tree, figured since it's not very high back here. Got a bleach cap a minute ago. This is an older one, and looks like I got the leash from the farmer's old dog. So I'm not going to show these tags unless I kind of cover. These normally have like the exact address or area that I'm in. So I'll clean them off and we'll see how old they are. And I'll let you know, but I got the whole leash this time. And you can see right here that this rabies vaccination tag is from 1997, so it's not too particularly old. And the one above it, or the green one, is 1998. It is very overcast right now. I'm just looking over here around the shed. On the opposite end of the house, which is back under there now. Old outbuilding over there. I got a slamming signal here. And just an odd find, but I kind of like it. It's just a melted lump of lead. Very smooth. That's a very interesting chunk of lead right there. I will keep on the search. I'm getting plenty of trash that I'm not showing. I've been out here probably 2.5 hours maybe. Probably closer to 2. This is the most interesting find in a little while. I unfolded it, a tube of absolutely tasteless, odorless USP mineral oil. Yeah, it appears to be older trash anyway. The old typical style lids that I find a lot around the old houses. Normally you just find this little portion right here on the top, but on occasion you get the whole tube rolled up. And this time we did. Well, we got a nicer relic right here. I was up by this pole where they put in for a night light, like a street light, and right under the surface I thought it was just going to be some modern brass, but it's much older. It's looks to be quite old brass buckle. Solid, very solid. So that's a good find right there. That's actually the first nice relic from the yard portion here. Nice. We'll keep looking. Maybe something else down here. I just found something here. I have no idea what it is. It says duckbill something, 18 or 38. Very odd. Looks like it's hollow on that end. Kind of tapers out. I honestly have no idea what that is. I'm sure somebody knows. But that has me baffled. Looks like there's a hole on maybe both sides here where something went through there. Answers in the comments, please. Alrighty, so here's the scoop. I got permission to search all of the farm now, not just the farmhouse that I've been looking around. So I'm taking a trek now to explore some more of this 500-acre property. There are multiple old home sites, as well as an 1841 log cabin. Now, that's part of the original settlement house. I'm not certain if the cabin is like in its original location or if there's too much groundwork around it to preserve it, but I guess we're gonna find out because I'm gonna probably start looking there. I got a little bit of a walk here, but most of the fields are planted. I'm fortunate as they will able to find that crowdle bell. As you can see behind me here, most of the fields are planted, but I mean, I'm going to start around the structures because I'm assuming I'll find at least one hot spot. So I'm going to start around some of the other structures on the property, see how that goes, and if it's a little slow, we'll look at the edge of the farm fields here. So I'm going to get hiking down here. I got my pack on, the T2, the shovel, I got water, everything you can think of in my backpack that I'll need to be out here for the next several hours. Now, all we got to do is dig up some goodies. I'll see you in a minute. So I think around the log cabin it's going to be a bust. I just got this piece of junk metal here, but I wanted to show you that in this hole here, there's a lot of old material that I think they dozed around and leveled this ground with. Other than this, I've been finding big pieces of farm iron in cans at various depths. A lot of big, deep overload signals, so I think they've done something to the ground here, unfortunately. but I'll give it a little bit longer, and if that doesn't pan out, then I'm going to start looking behind one of the old houses. So I'm on the slope behind one of the old farmhouses now, and where they run their dairy operations is right behind me. Thankfully, it doesn't look like any of this has been disturbed, or at least we're going to start telling the story now. The soil looks original. Right here, I had a solid coin tone about 4 inches down, and I popped this. Ah, it's not a wheat cent. I thought it was going to be. But it is a copper memorial, and it seems like it was a natural depth. It's 1970 something, so I think there's going to be some old stuff in here. Let's get going. So I just searched behind this old house that's on the property. I'm not exactly certain of the age, but it looks like it's early 1900s if I had to put a guess on it. But anyway, their dairy operation is all in behind here. You can see all the other buildings behind it. And unfortunately, over the years, maybe too many pipes and different things put in to get up to the road. Something's happened to the ground here. There's really not anything old other than a bit of modern scrap down in there. In about the last 35 minutes, all I've been able to find was 2 pennies from the 70s, one from 1963, and I got that piece of pottery in the hole with one of my other targets. So I'm going to move on from here. Got a couple other places to look on the property, and if it doesn't pan out, we'll head into the edge of the farm fields. Well, we may have to stick around here a little bit longer. I came into the section where the grass is higher, and it looks like original soil right here in this little patch kind of in behind the house between here and the road, and that's the 1841 cabin right up there that's been redone. And I had a really scratchy nickel signal, a good probably 5 inches down. You see the edge of it there. I hope that's not a shotgun shell head stamp. It looks like the edge of an old nickel. I'm gonna go ahead and pop it. Oh, it is a nickel. Question is, how old is it gonna be? It's a buffalo nickel. That is sweet. All right, so I'm gonna grid this little area here and behind this house. I'm glad I didn't give up. I was just trying to test some of the deeper faint targets, anything I could find, and that's the only signal I could lock onto for now. But I'm gonna keep working it, because if this is down here, there could be more. So the buffalo nickel is very corroded upon cleaning, but when you get it at the right lighting angle, I do believe this to be a 1919, making it 100 years old on the button. I am so glad I found a little patch of dirt here that's original, because I've spent probably a good 3.5 hours on this property today working for everything I found. I went up about 2.5 feet maybe from that buffalo nickel, had a really deep faint signal in the low 80s, and it looks like we got a coin in the bottom of the hole, probably a wheat penny to go along with that buffalo. That's what I would guess. Yes, it is a wheat cent. And I cleaned up the buffalo a little bit. I couldn't see the date. And this wheat cent is 1941, or I can't tell the last digit. It's 40 something, which is another old coin. So I'm gonna grid this little area here, maybe 3 by 3 yards or so. Might be more locked down there. Okay, it's been 5 minutes or so, dug a few pieces of scrap. I was able to locate another deep signal bouncing low to mid 80s. We got all kind of ants and larvae down in this hole. But check out that right there. That's what we're looking for. Looks like a really green penny. Oh yeah, that's a sharp weedy. That might be an oldie. Oh dude, that's a 1909. Does it have, I can't believe it. Does it have the VDB on the back? I've never found one with the VDB. Man, that's in good condition for a first year. And hopefully that corrosion means it was stuck to another coin. I doubt it, but turn the pinpointer back on. I'm gonna check that closely. No, it was by itself there, it appears. But let me get my naked eye on this, and I'm gonna check it out. I checked this 1909 carefully, and unfortunately, there is no VDB on the reverse there by the rim. I don't know why the VDB has been so elusive to me, but I'm sure I'll find one someday. But there it is, first year issue, 1909, Lincoln wheat cent. Okay, I had a really deep signal here, down about 8 inches. I thought it was just going to be a piece of trash. And I got way down there and check it out. I think it's the piece of a giant crotal bell. I'm almost certain that's what it is. It has the same patina as the small one I found earlier. and it's round. I'm almost 100% certain that's a big chunk of a giant crotal bell. That was much deeper than the coins and in a section that's not like the real rich original soil. So maybe they dug this one up and they were putting some pipes in. You can see the pattern on it right there. That is cool. All right, let's keep searching. Probably about 5 by 5 yards right here is where all these little targets are coming from. So I'm taking a break in the shade. I couldn't find anything else behind that old house over there, except for the 2 wheats, that buffalo nickel, and the piece of the crotal bell, and then a lot of modern trash mostly. This is the 1841 cabin, which I was not able to find anything in through here other than some cans, aluminum cans that were deep, as well as some big farm iron. That was it. The soil has definitely been disturbed there. So I just started coming over this way and working my way over to another old house over here, which I'm not sure of the age on. It's not super old. They could have built this one after they obtained the farm in the 1930s, so that could be, you know, like closer to around World War II, give or take. Just working the field in between, in the shade, and I found a modern quarter right there. At least it's a target. Trying to get onto another patch of oldies. And update, it's been about 20 minutes. I started making my way toward that other house that's behind the log cabin right there. It appears to be a fairly new house. I looked at the style of the brick and the siding. I think it might be a newer home that's kind of made to look a little bit older. So it may not be older than like 30, 40 years or something like that. I wasn't finding anything over there. I did a quick pass around the reconstructed 1841 log cabin and nothing again. Desperately needed some shade and figured we'd come over here. Now, I don't know if there was ever any structures back here. I doubt it. It's kind of on the edge, but for as long as this property has been inhabited, it's possible there could be stuff back over here in this young forest. So there's the tippy top of the farmhouse up by where I found the complete crotal bell. And I would look in here. Maybe I'll do a couple of these areas where it's really low, but it's kind of tough swinging in through here. But I may give this a go because there could be some stuff in here as well. But for now, since it looks a lot easier in there, I'm going to hop on into the woods. As soon as I find a way through this brush line where they piled this all up, probably down there, I'm going to crawl over there back into the woods, and we're going to see if we can locate us some old relics. So maybe we'll find an old dump back here. There's an old pot of some kind. Not sure why they got these back here. That's the only sign I see of man-made objects at the moment. It's possible this in through here could have been farmland at one point as well, because all of these trees seem fairly young. I'm not seeing any with a wide enough circumference that I would assume are older than maybe 30 years old. Here we got a barrel. Set my gear down. Alright, so it is quite fascinating back here. We at least know there's going to be tin in the ground. I'm going to try to stay away from these large objects. Maybe down this way more. The original road should be maybe 50 yards up that way, not very far. Maybe a little bit further than that. What we got here? This is cool. Cloverleaf unloader, adjustable. I can't read that there. You might be able to. I can read Ohio on it. I can't read the whole thing through the viewfinder. Wow. Some kind of gigantic old piece of farm equipment, I assume. It's got like a pulley system here. Pretty fancy too. I'm definitely glad I came back here. Maybe this is more of that system that almost looks like a rail where something can run along the edge of it. I'm not too sure. Oh, the other stuff all under here. Man. Chair, more tin. All right. I think it's time to get the detector out. What do you say? If I can remember where I set it. Okay, literally right where I set my detector and my shovel down, there was this little bag here under the brush a little bit, and I thought it was empty, but I picked it up, and there is something in this Ziploc bag. I can't tell what it is. Well, you know we're definitely doing it live. If I can get it open. Let me set the camera down here a second. Let's try to set it right here. There we go, that'll work. Perfect. Okay. So it's just some kind of accessories. It looks like a tag off of something. I'm not sure what. Oh, there's a little band too. Wonder if these are... No, they don't look quite like bird bands. They're wrapped around pieces of aluminum though to band something. I don't know what. This one here. Not sure if you can see that. It says PA 80012. PA for Pennsylvania. That's where I'm at right now. And this little band here, a little crimped around piece of aluminum, says PA 22202. And they're aluminum. So I think that was it. Yeah, I think there's just a piece of dirt some dirt down in there with it, but that's it. That's what was in the bag. I know, pretty interesting, you know? It's not a pile of old coins, but hey, I like oddball stuff like that. Yeah, it's right here where I was showing these pots earlier. They've been down here a long time, rotted through, stacked in there. I don't know. This is my kind of place back here, that's for sure. I won't keep yakking. Yeah, you can just see him right here behind that drum. But yeah, we're gonna look around here quite a bit. I'll probably spend at least an hour back here. Well, I called this one first repeatable signal down here in the woods. I meandered about 15 yards from the brush line over there, and a shotgun shell head stamp. Peters 12 gauge. I'm sure there's plenty of these back here. I'll try to skip those signals, see if we can pick out anything a little more interesting. Not much back here yet. Haven't even been able to isolate any iron patches, but got another shotgun head stamp there, and this one's really old. We got the paper cartridge mostly still intact there. Pretty remarkable. That's crazy. That one is a Super X. Gotta be something else back here. So I found a little creek that I didn't know ran through here, and I'm not talking about what I'm pointing at here, but you can see how it snakes down through here and washes out here, probably when they have a lot of rainfall draining. You can see all the exposed roots down and through here, and you can see where it deposited all this material and it's mounded up. So it's always good in areas where you're finding a lot of targets to check these areas that are washed out. There can be things right on the surface. And generally you don't find anything good where everything's piled up, but you should check anyway. But anyhow, I'm gonna work the edge of the creek down here because I assume back in the day there would have been kids and people back down in here. Now, this isn't much of a stream, but it's water, and water is a magnet for activity. See it running down through here. So I'm going to check out around the banks and maybe get my shoes off and get in there. But it looks like a lot of it's kind of settled down in there. It's like looks like really goopy, a lot of sediment. So probably stick to the edges right now. I can see another. It looks to be some sort of like oil drum or something back there. So maybe we'll find something. Let's grab the detector. Should probably quit setting it places so I don't lose it. So this was pretty odd. I ran over these with the detector. They were sitting right on the surface. Looks like lumps of coal. Some sort of hot rocks anyway. Pretty fascinating. I'll just let those go. But found some more signs of humans. I turned my discrimination all the way down to listen for iron. Started noticing a little bit of iron around here. And this is going to tell us something. Got this stake in the ground. Nails all through it. I'm sure there's getting a lot of iron around it, which I'm assuming is mostly nails. Haven't had any non-ferrous signals yet. And I caught some stuff out of the corner of my eye, and we're going to take a look at it live. Some sort of crate. Metal lining on the inside. Old blue paint on it, it appears. You got something down here. What's left of an old chair. Oh man, I remember these things. These things were going out of style right about the time I was growing up. I think the last one I've seen was probably in the 90s. Huh. A little bit of a clearing here right on the edge. There's a bucket over there. Yeah, we'll poke around here a little bit, see if we can find anything. The stream's just right there. Kind of working it as close as I can. It's really grown in as I started walking down. It's so funny I didn't notice this the first time because I was doing random passes up through there. I came through once and spent most of my time down here. But now when I look at it sideways, it's the old, at least an old fence line of some sort. Post, post. You can see them. They kind of go down. There's some missing, some in really bad shape, but they continue down this way. One grown in between the tree there. This is an old fence line. Potentially an old property boundary. So haven't been able to find anything non-ferrous yet, but I'm gonna give it a little bit longer. Yeah, the fence is long gone. I mean, I don't see any remnants of it. It's just a post with some of the iron staples and some nails in them. Maybe if they expanded, I know their property expanded over the years, maybe they bought the adjoining property and came down here and clipped all the wire. That is a possibility, because normally you'd at least see some remnants of fence. You can see a little bit here running through there. Let's see how far it goes outside of the woods here. No, I can't go in this way. This is where this little young forest stops. We got a post here. Old one right there, really old one. And it continues down through there, one right there. So, old property boundary. Okay guys, so I'm in the farmhouse that I detected as the first part of the hunt earlier in the day, where I found the Crodel Bell, the old toy truck, and some coins and odds and ends. And later on in the day is when I hunted the old 1841 cabin and the other house that is down there by the dairy operation, and then the woods that I searched in, you can kind of see where they start there, and it goes the whole way back that way. So we put in a total of maybe around 4.5, 5 hours of searching today, and I've just been chilling out for the last few hours here, and we're not done. I'm going to go back in this evening and work in through some of these rows where they haven't planted, and there's a few nooks and crannies there where everything isn't very high, and we're going to see if we can pull anything else out, because there was definitely old relics down around in this portion. So this is just a snapshot of what I've dug so far today, minus the like really good stuff, or at least the smaller decent stuff. But anyway, it just, I'm not even going to say nothing, I'll just pan through it, because you've seen it all in the video, or most of it. I haven't showed all the trash, obviously. But this truck ended up being a Tootsie toy, made in USA. Awesome. It's unfortunate that it was out in the fields and the plow got it, but hey, what are you going to do? I didn't show that, just an old clock part. Always like finding those. And that's the more scrappy scrap down there. So that's it so far. Got about 2 hours before dark. I'll probably swing for about an hour. And we'll see what happens. Let's add to the pile. House is up there. I found this little area that they cleared but didn't plant. So I'm kind of working down and through here, and so far I just got a can lid, and I got something here. Well, I don't know if I call it funny, but it was at least surprising to me, because this is the first time it's ever happened to me. I got a faint signal here. I just found a bird band, and unfortunately it's still got the birdie's leg in it. So I can look that up and see what type of bird it was. But there you go. Let's see the year on that. I think it says 2010. Yeah, it's 2010 bird band. Alrighty, we'll keep looking in through here. Not a lot of space, but there are some other areas I can go to. Okay, so in researching this bird band, I went to the USGS website to go ahead and report the band. This is the first time I've ever done this, and I found out it is not actually a federal band, but there's a lot of different, when you start filling out the forms, you just keep going through option after option, and even when you get to the page about the band, the bird, the date, etc., there's even an option here to select found band or band number only, including metal detecting. So you would select that if you found it, and you can keep going through the prompts. But anyway, I wanted to show you here, because I was trying to figure out where it was from. I found this little question mark here, and it shows you at the bottom, if the band has the letters AU, IFCU, NPA, or PB, it is probably a pigeon band, and then that they don't keep records of those, and it gives a website here of where to go to try to track down your pigeon band. So it takes you to this website, the American Racing Pigeon Union Incorporated, and on that website it breaks them down by the different numbers listed on the band, mine being IF. So that sends me to this website, which is the International Federation American Homing Pigeon Fanciers Incorporated, where they basically have racing pigeons and things like that. It's quite interesting, very extensive website. So I even went to a lost and found here, and it shows you how to care for pigeons if you find one, and how to try to get it back to its rightful owner. And even here at the bottom, it also says if you are out with your metal detector and find a band, you may be able to track where the band is from the website too. So I went to their band list, which starts in 2000 and goes to the current year, and they have records of where the bands are from. Mine is from 2010, so I went from the 2010 band list, and I was able to find out, going through this list, that the homing pigeon that I found was from Cedar Grove, New Jersey, or at least somewhere in that area. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot them an email and just let them know where I found the band, in case that information can be useful for them. And for anyone who's interested in all of this, I will put links in the description. The next target is whatchamacallit. I have no idea on that one. I don't hunt farm fields too frequently, so I'm not up on my farm junk. But I think that's just off some sort of equipment. No idea what though. So I've spent the last hour plus searching the edge of these fields and haven't been able to come up with anything other than some junk. But hey, I tried. I'm gonna work my way back to the house now and go through them fields a little bit more in through here where I found some of my good targets earlier today. But just a beautiful evening out here. I wanted to do those strips up in between the fields, but the grass is just too high. So I stuck to hugging along the edges, and I've been the whole way over that hillside, about almost a half mile that way, working my way around this huge property. It is absolutely beautiful out here this evening. And a successful day overall. I had a lot of fun. Definitely had a lot of fun out here. So let's head back that way and see if we can get us one more nice old relic. Hey. On the last clip, I was standing right there. So I walked the whole way up here. The only thing I found in the last 5 minutes working my way over is a little iron horse tack ring about right over here. It seems like most of my old stuff has been on this side of the property. I locked onto a dream signal. Best one I've had all day as far as high conductive and small on the size. Perfect 89. 90, 87 sometimes. Move the pinpointer out of the way. Let's try one live. Why not? We're about to wrap it up here. Could this be the nice old silver dime recorder I've been waiting for all day? Hopefully. But if not, that is okay, because I got some really cool stuff today. And a huge pile of trash as well. I think it's just further down. It's like it wants to read it. Hopefully this is not iron chirping in. Signal got worse, I'll fish it out off camera and we'll see what it is. As it got deeper and deeper, I was thinking, man, maybe this is a large scent. Not sure how well you can see it down there, but went down about 6 inches in this dry hard pack, and it's a nice brass buckle. The iron tongue disintegrated as I was pulling it out. There you go. Nice brass horse tack buckle. What a good signal that gave off. So I'm working up and down through here, north to south, or at least from my perspective right now. And I was going this way earlier today, thinking there's got to be more up here. Got a slamming signal in the low 90s, went down about 5 inches, and I got another buckle, except this one is in much better condition. That is nice. That is complete, and that looks a little bit older. It's not like, it doesn't like ring early 1800s to me, but it could be mid to late 1800s into the turn of the century. Who knows? But that's a beauty right there. Gonna look good cleaned up. Alrighty, so I am back home in Tennessee here at the farmhouse. So we're gonna take a quick look at what I found from this trip. I did make a few pit stops on the way home at some public schools to see what I could find, and I'm going to show you that right now, and then a brief recap from around the farm settled in 1841. So on the way home, I stopped in Maryland, and I found a bunch of clad coins, quarter, dimes, nickels, a bunch of pennies, and I did pull one wheat cent. The skull wasn't very old, probably built in the late 70s or somewhere around there, but there were old houses across the road from it on an old street, and I was able to pop that 1948 D wheat cent, so not a bad pit stop. I dug all that in about a half an hour. And then I stopped in West Virginia at an old skull that looked like it was a brick skull built probably around the 30s with a bunch of small 1950s homes around it. And right up against the side of the skull property, almost butt up against one of the old houses built in the 50s. I started hitting some old targets. But anyway, I got some quarters, dimes. I started hitting a lot of pennies from the 1960s by the side door to this fairly old house. And I did pop out this first year issue 1959 D Memorial cent, which I always seem to find those. And then I did squeak out a Wheatie 1953, and I believe that has a D mint mark. So the ground didn't want to cough up any silver, but I did also find this really neat old drawer pull, which could be Victorian. Wasn't expecting that where I found it. Need to clean it up a bit more, but that's a pretty cool find. So I got hunting in 3 different states on this trip, but that's what I found at the public property on the skulls. Now over to the farm, there's all my modern coins. We're not going to go through those. These are the tags that I found in the bag in the woods. So maybe they were making bird bands out of them. This kind of looks like a homemade bird band of some kind, but pretty neat. There's my pigeon band. We got an assortment of old buckles. I didn't show this in the video. Somehow I accidentally deleted the clip, but I did get part of an old lantern out in the fields there. Really like finding those. The old clock part, the live bullet, the Tootsie truck, which is an awesome find. I got the 100-year-old Buffalo nickel, the 110-year-old first-year issue wheat penny from 1909, another Wheatie, and then probably what I would say the best finds of the trip are these pieces of the Crotal bells. These are really hard to find in Tennessee, and it's the first time I've found Crotal bells, but this is definitely the find of the trip right here. It's a number 2 Crotal bell, and it is definitely my favorite find. Super happy to knock that off the bucket list. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you would consider doing so. Thanks everyone, take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Happy treasure hunting.